Welcome to Paranormal Night Shift, your home for all things that go bump in the night and your fan stories told here. So many different names for this guy. And why are there so many stories about Bigfoots, Yetis, Skunk Apes, whatever they might be? Are they the next line in evolution? Are they things that were left behind? And I know it's so easy to dismiss it as just stories, but when so many come in, there's gotta be something behind it, right? Well, today's story is called The Cabin in the Woods, and four friends have an encounter with something. Shane writes in, "The cabin in the woods was supposed to be a peaceful getaway for me and my friends. We were all experienced hikers, so we weren't really worried about being in the wilderness. But on the second night, the cabin became scary. Something went terribly wrong. We were sitting around the campfire just telling ghost stories and laughing, when all of a sudden we heard a noise from in the woods. It stopped, all of us, and we just stopped to listen. The noise came again. It was a low, guttural growl, and it sounded like nothing I had ever heard before. We all looked at each other with fear in our eyes, and we knew that there was something out there, and it wasn't friendly. We stood up and grabbed our flashlights. I think we should go inside, one of my friends said. We all nodded in agreement and hurried back and locked the doors, but we weren't safe. The thing that was out in the woods rushed to the cabin. We all heard scratching and banging. It was trying to get inside. Four grown-ups just huddled together in a corner, trying to avoid whatever was coming in after us. It scratched at the doors. It pounded at the windows, and we were all huddled together, just too afraid to move. Suddenly, the front door burst open, and the thing came crashing in. It was huge. It had long hair, muscular arms, and a fur coat. It covered it in like dirt and leaves. Its face twisted into a snarl. We all screamed in terror and ran for the door, but there was no use. It was faster. It grabbed one of my friends and threw them across the room. My other friends tried to fight back, but we were no match for such a huge creature. It knocked them down one by one. They were all laying on the ground, helpless. The thing stood over them, with its eyes gleaming with mischief. It raised a massive fist and prepared to deliver the killing blow. I knew that this was it. We were all goners. But just then, a loud noise came from outside. The creature turned its head and saw a group of men standing in a clearing. The men were hunters. They had been tracking this thing for days. They had heard our friends' screams and they had come to investigate. The thing saw the hunters and hesitated. It knew that it was outmatched. It turned and ran back to the woods, disappearing so fast, almost camouflaging itself into the wood line. The hunters rushed into the cabin to help me and my friends. We were all injured, but we were all so grateful to be alive. The hunters explained to us that there's different kinds of Bigfoots. Ones that you see that are friendly and others that are not friendly at all. They had been tracking this thing for weeks now. It had already attacked a couple other campers down the trail. We packed up all of our things and left that night. We never went back into the Uari trail. But these stories of these peaceful Bigfoots, they're always met with stories like this one. Whatever these creatures are, there's some of them just like people that are friendly, others that just want to be left alone, and some that mean you harm. The one we encountered that night, I knew that if the hunters weren't there to save us, would have destroyed all of us, and we would have just been another ghost story to tell. Tell me in the comments, what are your thoughts on Bigfoot? I'm a huge Bigfoot fan. I believe that it just wants to be left alone, and look, I get that. But you do hear these stories of these massive creatures attacking campers that mean you harm. Have you ever had an encounter with Bigfoot? Have you ever had an encounter with anything that you can't explain? Please tell us your stories and send them into Paranormal Night Shift. Thank you so much for listening.